Hey everybody, Nick here, and this is the second part to my question and answer video that was prompted by my little sunset chat. And in the first video, I answered questions about gear specifically, and now I'm going to answer some questions about the channel and about the Nick myself. So just to make it a little bit more personal, this is my EDC, minus the phone, which is actually recording this video right now, an iPhone 6s Plus. And so this is the kind of thing that will be in my pockets on a daily basis. Some days I'll have a flashlight on me. Today I do not. But I got a wallet, I got a watch, I got, at the moment, a Shirogorov F95. Review's going to be coming up here before too long. Got the Prometheus Alpha Pen, chapstick, because, dry lips are a thing. And always with the headphones. So that's my EDC for the moment, and then I've got, a pack with a bunch of other stuff in there, but I'll talk about that someday when I get a chance. But anyways, so let's just go ahead and jump into some viewer questions about the channel first, and then about the Nick. So Poison Cobra 7 asks, why did you start making videos on YouTube? Honestly, at the start, it was just a throwaway kind of thing, like, maybe I'll give it a shot. Because I think the very first review I ever did was the Prometheus Wrights pen Alpha in Electroless Nickel. And it was gem, still is. But I just threw it up there as maybe somebody will look for it someday. And then people actually started subscribing, and now I'm about to hit 2,000 people. But basically, the reason I keep going is because I love reviewing. I love looking at the details, and I love sharing the details and the joy and the pain of it. And I'm detail-oriented enough that it all comes pretty easy to me. I can look at something and, zoom in on the little things pretty straightforwardly. I also I do a lot of typing for work, and so I'd rather not be doing the guy who I don't want to be the Tolstoy on the forums who writes up a 4,000-word review of a brand new knife when I could sit there and talk about it for, 15 minutes or something like that. And I'll be honest, I think I probably like the sound of my own voice, but I think I'm also pretty much the only person who does. Such is life. So that's why I started, and why I keep going is because it's a lot of fun, and you guys, particularly the viewers and the viewers who are loaning me gear to check out, make it so much easier and so much more fun to do that. So, good question, Poison Cobra. Moving on. Daniel Compolt asks, where do you see this channel going in the future? Any plans for upcoming content? Well, I'm hoping to keep it casual because, let's face it, in order to really make a living off of this, you need to start playing the game. You need to start doing affiliate links. You need to start doing sponsorships and things like that. Or you need to, say nice things about everybody so makers will keep sending you more stuff. So I gotta keep it casual. I'm not gonna make a living at this, and I got a living elsewhere. But I want to keep this going because I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I'm going to keep it going until I stop having a lot of fun with it. And I've got a lot of content in the pipes, some of which is already filmed and ready to go and go on a release schedule here. And I've got lots of viewers who are talking about loans that will keep things going in the future. Because I can't afford to buy, 3 knives a week or something like that for the rest of my life. That would be absolutely insane. But I can definitely afford to work with some viewers who want to share some of their joys with me. So there are plenty of gems left to mine in the world of the Nick Shabazz channel. Don't worry, I'm not planning to go anywhere anytime soon. June asks, when did you start calling everything a gem? Honestly, that's always been kind of a Nick thing, and so I'm just keeping it up here. I will use gem to refer to other things in my personal life on a regular basis, even outside of the channel. I will refer to, other objects as a gem or humans as a gem. I think I recently referred to a customer service representative as a gem to their supervisor, which caused some bit of stifled laughter, but that's okay. So, gem is a truly meaningful term in my life, and so I don't reward it lightly. So there you go. So the 400-pound gorilla asks, hey Nick, why don't you share something that's personal, but not too identifying? Okay, sure. So I'm in the United States. Michigan is the state, not too far from the city of Detroit. I got no kids, I got no pets. We're probably going to adopt a cat or two when the timing is right, but haven't yet. And I got a very patient fiancée. She puts up with the craziness that is the Nick Shabazz quite nicely. And she's a gem. I have no problem classifying that. She carries a ZTO 350 all the time, at least in her purse, and she's got a kind of a lust after the 452 CF, and she was given some pretty hard eyes at the Shirogorov F95 here. In many ways, she's a little bit more hardcore than I am, which is pretty entertaining. So there you go. Then again, I'm not terribly hardcore. So the Great White Hope asks, along those lines, I'm going to keep answering some more personal stuff along the lines here. How old are you? Where were you brought up? So I'm in my early 30s, and I grew up in the American West. I'm not going to go too much more specific, but I got family from Boston and New York, and so that's probably what you're picking up on here as I'm talking. Let's go on. Sir Galahad asks, besides making YouTube reviews, what else do you like to do with your free time? What are your hobbies? Free time. That's a funny concept. This ends up eating a lot of it, but I love doing it, because gear is one of my big hobbies, and reviewing just gives me justification to try new things. But I also enjoy doing a lot of computing and software and tech stuff, because I work a lot with computers. There's a lot of interest there. I'm a big fan of open source software, but I'm also a hypocrite because I'm a big fan of Apple computing, although I'm increasingly disappointed. Apple hasn't released a real solid gem in a while now, and so, the ugly is going up relative to the good and the bad. I may be jumping ship before too long there. Sorry, little diversion. I do love music. Anything from classical to folk to electronica. I'm a fan. By and large, I love birds. I love animals, particularly the little small fuzzy ones. I desperately miss prairie dogs, the little rodents that pop up out of holes around the Great Plains area. They don't have them here, but they've got squirrels, so that's okay. And I very much love some road trips when I've got the time. I've managed to visit 12 out of the 59 American national parks, and that brings me some joy. There's some beautiful stuff out there in the world. I would say that my favorite park is probably Arches National Park, which is in Utah. And Glacier National Park is also a solid gem. Oh, my God. So, there you go. Let's move on. So, I Am Jason asks, Nick, what do you do professionally? Well, I'm going to try and be a little coy here, because I want to keep my work life and my reviewing life separate, just because, mixing the work and the personal doesn't always end well. But I do work in signal processing. I'm happy to tell you that. I mostly work with sound. It's a small world, so I'm not going to go in a whole lot more detail, but there you go. But that's honestly part of the reason I like doing gear and knife reviews so much, because with what I do, everything is signals and numbers and hertz and processing and all sorts of stuff like that, and it all takes place inside electronic boxes, whether it's computers or, capture boxes, weird things like that, which fail in weird ways. Oh, the battery or the capacitor. And so, I spend so much time working with really kind of unintuitive stuff that it's a joy to work with something that is just purely mechanical and that is both simple and complex. I mean, a good pocket knife only has a few pieces, but they're pieces that are done perfectly, and as a result, it works well. So, that's a joy. And it also gives me a good focus. What I do for work gives me a good focus on the tiny details and perfection of implementation. And some of that follows me home. So I look at, watches and knives and pens with that same eye for really finicky details. And I think that's something a lot of people like about the channel. And this is also, by the way, a part of my obsession with precise timing and why it very slightly bothers me that this watch right now is slightly slow. Such is life. So there you go, Jason. There's your answer. Spy asks me, what is your favorite TV show and or movie? I contend if you were a very good spy, you could have found that out already, but hey, whatever. I'll humor you. TV show-wise, probably The Wire. It's just really good storytelling. I'm a big fan of that, and it's just so nicely done. Although I'll also admit I have a certain love for the show Gold Rush. I'm judging me for it. It's okay, you don't have to. But it brings me some joy in a very weird way. I don't know, I can't understand it, but I watch it, so I'll admit it. In terms of movies, a bit of a weird pick here, but Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. This is a very R-rated, very strange movie that's not going to be to a lot of people's taste whatsoever. That's okay, but I'm a detail guy. I love some details, and that is a movie that is just, every detail is perfect. It's really well done in that way, and so Kubrick in general, but Eyes Wide Shut, it's like the Slish Bowie of movies, in that every detail is right there where you need it. It's beautifully done. Big fan of that film. Like I said, weird, not know that I recommend it, but it's my favorite. Finally, Kopimamo is being a true Reddit user and asks me, would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? And what knife would you bring to the fight? Good question. ridiculous question, but I'll answer it. Why not? I would fight a horse-sized duck in a heartbeat 100%, because a duck has puffy feathers, lightweight bones, and a generally frightful disposition. And so, I feel like if I'm going to have to fight a large beast, I'd rather it be a puffy beast that is generally scared of life, rather than a tiny little horse, or 100 of them that could really severely kick my ankles and injure me in that way. In terms of what knife, really I would much prefer to tame the beast, because, it's a duck. Come on. And I don't feel the need to do that. But at the same time, if I did have to choose a knife, it would have to be something really inexpensive because, well, if you're fighting a horse-sized duck, you already know the bill is gonna be huge. Huh? Okay. I'm sorry. I'll stop. So, thank you guys so very much for the questions. I hope this was at least slightly interesting to you. May you never have to face a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses. And thank you for subscribing and loaning gear and commenting and being interactive and making this a whole lot of fun to do. 2,000 subscribers, and here's to 2,000 more. Have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day.